Rabotai, I would like to speak about a very serious, very important topic. Rabotai, after what's been going on in the past 2 weeks with the situation that has been happening, I don't even want to mention it, Rabotai. I want to try to speak today about in Ve'en Lamo Michshol, in Perek Bet, in page 15, it speaks about how a person, when he's in this world, he has to try to grab as much mitzvot and as much as Torah as possible, Rabotai. Don't underestimate HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Rabotai. Rabotai, we are in this world like a tenant is in an apartment for rent. Once the balabait, once the landlord comes and he knocks on the door, Rabotai, the landlord doesn't care if you have $5 million, he does not care, Rabotai. When the time comes to demolish the building because he wants to make it bigger, Rabotai, he's going to take the apartment away. Why am I saying this, Rabotai? It's a parable, Rabotai. A person can have all the money in the world, all the wealth in the world, everything, all the health, all the honor, all the houses. But once the landlord, when Hashem comes and he knocks on his door and he says, time is up, Rabotai, no matter what you're going to do, it's not going to help. So now I want to just try to show you what means, Rabotai, how a person has to try to save every minute, cherish it, try to grab as much mitzvot and Torah as much as you can, Admei ve'eshim b'zrat Hashem, to everybody. But Rabotai, we've been seeing what's been going on in the last 1.5 weeks, Rabotai, it's not even a joke. People are going mamish before their time. May this lecture be a little Nishmat for them. He says over here, Lachtov ma'olam kama shiyoter mitzvot, to be able to grab from this world as much as possible mitzvot. HaChavetz Chaim haya omer, the Chavetz Chaim used to say, Ha'olam hazeh olam ha'maseh. This world is a world of doing. Asher nitan lahagia bo lehisigam gidolim biyoter. A person is able to reach very high levels over here, the highest levels that are possible. Afil yoter min malachim, even more than the angels. V'kvar amru chachamenu zatzal b'masechet erun daf chav bet amur aleph. V'shamarte et ha-mitzvah ve'et ha-chokim ve'ha-mishpatim asher anochi mitzaveche hayom la'asotam, Rabotai. The pasuk already says, Hashem says, I guard the mitzvot, the laws and the mishpatim that I command you today to do. Hayom la'asotam. Rabotai, the mitzvah, the Torah learning should be today. Don't leave it for tomorrow. Why? Hayom la'asotam, from the word hayom la'asotam, to do today. V'lo l'machar la'asotam, you learn it out, but not to do it tomorrow. A lot of us, unfortunately, have this tendency of pushing off when it comes to learning and doing mitzvot. I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it later, Rabotai. I am guilty of it also. I'm not speaking to anybody, I'm speaking more to myself. Hayom la'asotam v'lo l'machar la'asotam, to do it today, not to do it tomorrow. Hayom la'asotam, today you're going to do machar lekabal secharam, and tomorrow, after 120, you're going to get your reward for the mitzvot. Ve'amr b'masechet chulin, Dav Tzadik Aleph Amud Bet, Chavivan Yisrael lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu yoter mimalchei hasharet. The Gemara Masechet Chulin says that the Jewish people are dear before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even more than the ministering angels. Why? She'Yisrael omrim shira b'chol sha'ah. A Jew could praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he can sing to Hashem every single moment. But not so with the ministering angels. As long as we don't sing over here, they're not going to be able to sing over there. Every single day when a person wants, he's able to bless Hashem. And he's able to speak to Hashem, may he be blessed. He's able to say, Baruch Atah Rabotai, Atah. You're speaking directly to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Atah Hashem. Whether you're davening Shemon Esrei Rabotai, whether you are saying the blessings for Shahakol or the after blessings, the pleasure blessings, whether you're dealing with Birkot HaMitzvot, meaning Berachot where you have Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvot v'tzivanu. The rabbi, you want to? Like the pasuk says, every single day I will bless you and I will praise your name forever. In the worlds of neshamot, in the worlds of souls, over there you can't do that. Over there it's finished, Rabotai. Rabotai, the dead, they cannot praise Hashem. The people that are alive, we can praise Hashem. Once a person goes to Rabotai, he can no longer praise Hashem. I would like to read for you Masechet Shabbat and Daf Lamed Amud Aleph. David the Melech says like this, Rabotai, what does the pasuk mean? Lo hameitim mi hallelujah, that the dead cannot praise you. Chachikam rabotai, this is what David meant to say. Lo oilam rabois, I want you guys to listen to this very carefully. Write it down on your head, on your wall. I don't care where you're going to tattoo it. It doesn't matter, rabotai, for me. But we always have to remember this rule. Lo oilam yasok adam batorah. Always, rabotai, there's not a time you shouldn't be learning Torah. Always a person should be learning Torah. Ubi mitzvot, a person should always be dealing with Torah and mitzvot. Kodem shiyamut rabotai, before you die. A person busy himself with Torah and mitzvot before he dies. Why? Shekeven shemet batal mina Torah mina mitzvot. Ve'ele kadosh baruch hu shevach bo. Because once a person dies, rabotai, he could no longer do no Torah, he could no longer learn Torah, and he can no longer do mitzvot. And you know something? Hashem doesn't get nothing from this type of people. Once a person dies, Hashem doesn't get anything. Hashem only gets praises from the people that are alive, not when a person chas v'shalom goes. So when a person is still in this world, he has to give it all he got to be able to do Torah and mitzvot. Now I want to read for you, before I continue reading over here, Masechet Berachot and Daf Yudchet, and Amud Aleph speaks about, another passage that speaks about, that it says over here, that the dead people, they don't know about anything. But the living people, they know that they're going to die. Listen what Rashi says. How does one know if he's holding, is he a tzaddik, or is he leaning towards chas v'shalom on the balance of a rasha? Besides what the Rambam says, Rambam says, a person should always look at himself like he's in the middle. You do an avera, you bring the whole world down with you. You do a mitzvah, you bring the whole world up with you. I'm not speaking about that. I want to just read for you Rashi. Rashi says like this, guys. When the pasuk says that the living know that they're going to die, is going on tzaddikim. Elu tzaddikim umay yudiim shemot. What does that mean, that they know they're going to die? Listen to this. Guys, and this is very sad. I'll tell you why. Let me just read this, I'll tell you why. Notnim elibam yom hamita tzaddikim. They put to their heart the day of death. They remember the day of death. Umeshechim yedehem min avera. And they withdraw their hands from an avera. Because when a person wants to be in a place where he's not supposed to be, or he wants to look at things he's not supposed to look at, or he wants to say things that he's not supposed to say, he remembers that, Rabotai, who's going to be with you over there 6 feet under? Nobody. Believe me, nobody's going to be with you. Only your Torah and Hashem. Nobody else is going to be with you. So he says, these tzaddikim, they put to their heart the day of death, and they withdraw from their hands avera. They don't do avera. However, he says, Urashayim, Einam yudaim umu. What does that pasuk mean? They don't know about nothing? I'll tell you what it means, he says. Shosim atzmam ke'enam yudaim v'chotiim. They make themselves as if they don't know, and they continue sinning. Hug here, touch this woman, sleep with this one, Lashon Hara here, not learning Torah here. Why am I telling you this? Guys, how many times people attend Levaya? You see with your own eyes people going in the ground, you see. And still, it doesn't take effect on us. Why? Baruch Hashem, because people, when they speak, he was a good person, everything became entertainment, unfortunately. But when they go to Yeshua also, what do they think about? They come, they have a good time, they drink. Yes, nice story, Midrash, Chumash. They go home, everybody goes to sleep well. Guys, if a person goes to Olavaya, if a person goes to Yeshua, and he is not moved, and he doesn't change himself, he continues, he goes back home and puts on his garbage TV. He goes back home and he starts, I don't know, right in the Levaya sometimes people start kissing with girls and they start mingling, Rabotai. They go back to mixed parties, etc. They do everything that's against halakha. But didn't you just see what just happened a few weeks ago? Or you think you're not part of the death club because you have people like that? This is the Rishaim. They don't believe they're going to die. They don't believe one day that they're going to be one day in the coffin and somebody's going to be eulogizing them. They believe they're here forever until the time comes. The balabait comes and knocks. Time is up, then it's going to be too late. That's why a person has to take himself in a sense. When these things happen, Chas v'shalom, what just happened on 108th Street, and what happened over here on Fresh Meadows, which is from our shul, one of the Mitpalim, it was his brother Rabotai. This is his name over here. Rabotai, if it hit home like this close, Chazal tells us something unbelievable. If it happened to the Jewish community, it could have been Chas v'shalom anybody. But if it happened and it wasn't anybody else, and it was them, Rabotai, there were sacrifices that went up for Am Yisrael. But you know what that teaches us? That teaches us that we have to wake up, that we have to change. We can't continue in the same garbage way, in the same shtuyot of living life. We go to the yeshiva, we come back, we go to mixed parties, Rabotai. All this nonsense has to stop. Everything must stop. You know why? Because the Gemara brings down in Masech Shabbat. You know who Hashem takes first when he wants to bring trouble to the world? He starts with the tzaddikim. But look how many tzaddikim left during COVID. Rabotai, when there's no tzaddikim, you know who starts going? Rachmin, nobody should know children. It's not because they want to go. It's because we don't have enough zuchut to keep them here. A person has to be careful, Rabotai. We will be held accountable for being for slacking off in avodat Hashem. Not for nothing does something just happen. I want to finish the story over here, and he says like this, guys. Give me 2 minutes, please. So we see from over here, guys. The Rav Chaim tells us over here that a dead person, he cannot go ahead and he cannot praise Hashem no more. So a person has to try to grab as many mitzvot as possible when he's in this world. This is the Master Shmuel. He said to Rabbi Yehud in Masechet Eruvin Daf Nudal Amud Aleph. Rabotai, listen to this carefully. Chatov ve'echol, grab and eat. Chatov ve'shoteh, grab and drink. Why? This world that we are leaving, every single day that you wake up, you are closer one day to your day of death. One day closer, one day closer. So he says as much as possible you should try to eat and drink. What does that mean? It does not mean eat and drink to be merry and happy. No. It means you should try to grab Torah and mitzvot. Try to learn as much of Torah as possible. Mashal Adam Ashir Me'od. He gives a parable to a rich man who's very rich. He did a very big wedding feast to his only son. His tables were full to the capacity. Anybody that came to the meal was able to take a portion for himself as a gift from the rich person. He's able to take everything for free, drink, food, anything that he loves, take it, the rich man said, take it. However, but when the party, when the wedding is over, but once the party is over, the rich man says, you no longer could touch anything, no food, no drinks from these foods. Our world, this world is compared to a wedding feast. Today we're in this world. Today, guys, as long as we're in this world, as long as we are alive, we are able to eat and drink from the spiritual aspect, meaning you're able to learn Torah, do mitzvot, and do good deeds. Therefore, he says, Yesh lachtov kama shiyoter mitzvot. As much as possible, Rabotai, don't let sleep or do not let laziness overtake you. Don't look at all the people that don't do it, Rabotai. I'll tell you why. Because they'll come, they'll throw 7 times on you the ground, and they'll walk away, and they're going to have a good dinner tomorrow. I'm telling you, Rabotai. Rabotai, he says, Ba'olam haba. Right? You should do everything. You should try to grab everything while you're here. Because in Olam haba, yekvar meuchar midah, it's going to be very late. Don't depend your life on anybody else. Ki hayom la'asotam, because today you have to do, v'lo lemachar ba'olam haba, not tomorrow in Olam haba, la'asotam. U'mi shetarah be'erev Shabbat yochal b'Shabbat. Just like we have the rule, anybody who prepares on Erev Shabbat is going to eat on Shabbat. Guys, same thing over here. Anybody who prepares in this world, he'll have a good Olam haba. People that don't prepare in this world, Rabotai, don't be surprised what's going to end up happening there. Baruch Adonai Olam, Amen, Amen. Rabbi Chanan ben Akash